been 1 week since the Mammoth Sniper challenge. My partner and I finished the challenge 29th overall in shooting. We finished every ruck with a little bit of time to spare on each ruck, actually. I'm going to go ahead and do a bit of an after-action video, kind of going over my thoughts about the match, how my gear did, any changes I would make. I'm going to kind of go in the same order as the initial video, hopefully be pretty quick. I don't want to make another half-hour video. So, my step-off weight was 56 pounds. I didn't weigh it at the end, but I'm guessing it was around 47 pounds based on how much we shot and how much we ate. So, the pack never felt lighter all weekend, but it apparently did get lighter. Pack worked out great. These little keepers were great for keeping my wet socks on the outside of the pack. I also used them to cinch down my trekking poles on the outside during shooting stages. One thing that did not work is I had hopes to keep my rifle strapped on the outside like this with these straps. This did not work out well. It was a lot of weight really far from my back and was pulling me down the whole time. What I ended up doing was putting my rifle horizontally under the brain right here. That put the weight a lot closer to my back, and that was a lot nicer. Ideally, what my partner was able to do was actually break his rifle in half and put half on either side in the water bottle pockets of his pack. So that was nice. If I had to change packs, I don't know if I really would want to. I would get something like a military kind of style pack where you've got a lot of pockets on the outside to hold stuff. I ended up strapping some things to the outside, which was kind of annoying, but pack worked out great. Trekking poles. Oh no. The trekking poles were, I think, essential for me. Helped a lot with all the weight and keeping some of that weight off my hips and off my knees when we're walking. I added the snow cups last minute. I don't think they were necessary, but they didn't hold me down. One thing I saw a lot of people with trekking poles, but they had the feet on them. Underneath this is a carbide tip, and that's what you're supposed to walk with, not these. A lot of people were slipping around on the ice with these tips. So take those off. They're to protect your floor in your house. And then these are meant for walking on the road so you don't destroy your tip if you're walking on asphalt roads. So. Next, sleep system. Kept everything in one bag. That was nice to have it all just in one spot at the bottom of my pack. My sleeping pad did get a small hole in it somewhere on the first night, which was great. So I spent the first night and the second night just every couple hours waking up and blowing it back up. Sleeping bag was fine. The sleeping bag liner was good. That was actually really nice to be able to have that on my skin instead of the cold sleeping bag itself. No complaints there. The tent was heavy, but it kept all of the snow off of us, kept us dry. There was enough space under both vestibules for all of our stuff, so nothing had to get left uncovered out overnight. A lot of people I saw with teepee tents seem to be the way to go. You use either your trekking poles or your tripod in the center as the center pole, and the snow just fell right off, and they had a lot of room inside to sit up, get dressed, cook inside. We had to cook outside of our tent because you couldn't get the heat on the fly. Clothing. Initially, I was going to take this extra pair of soft shell pants. I did not take those. I also did not take this orange hat. Instead, I took a bigger hat, and I took this blanket. That was nice to just nap underneath during the day. The best thing I brought was this buff. I wore this almost the entire time. I don't think I ever took it off. Wore it sleeping, wore it during the day, wore it for hiking. I also added in a smaller pair of gloves. These were nice for just rucking until your hands and your body warmed up enough from rucking to shove them in a pocket. Layering up and down quickly was pretty important. Bring extra underwear and socks. Change your socks often. Change your underwear at least once a day. That's gross. Sleeping clothes. Bring a dedicated pair of sleeping clothes. It's nice at the end of the day to get out of your sweaty, stinky clothes and into something that's going to be nice for the night. I did bring 2 of these sit pads, one for myself, one for my partner. It was great on the second day when there was snow. You didn't have to sit in the snow. I also don't have it anymore because I threw it away. I took a contractor bag and I cut it along the seam and had basically 2 waterproof mats for my partner and I to set our stuff down when we got to stages. Didn't really use them on day 1, but on day 2 when it was just snow, it was really nice to have that to set everything down on. Keep everything dry. A couple people brought full-on tarps. That was probably pretty good, but that's a lot of weight. Rain jacket, never wore it, but I'm glad I brought it. I would not leave it behind. Let's see. Food. My meal plan worked out really well. Something light in the morning, and then a full meal at the end of the day, just snacking throughout the day, keeping the calories up. This titanium pot worked out awesome, this Toke's pot. This heated up a lot faster than the steel cups that I've had, so that was nice. I actually ended up coming back with a little bit of food left. So I got a little bit of food left, which I probably should have eaten, but I don't think I needed it. What would have been nice, just because it was so cold, would have been a couple more smaller hot meals. Just once you sit down and you're at your stages for the day, just cook something up that was nice and warm you up. So that was all good. We burned through 1 entire fuel canister and I think half of the other just because it was so cold that it took a long time for things to heat up. And I think our fuel was struggling just because of how cold it was as well. All right. Hygiene stuff. We used all of the Leuko tape that I brought with us, so next time I'll bring more. Hand sanitizer was good, keeping everything clean. We used most of the Aleve. Thankfully, we did not need the diarrhea stuff. These toothbrushes were nice. These dude wipes. These, I don't know, I'm assuming they're for showers. That's what they were advertised as, but these things sucked. The second you start trying to use it, it just falls apart in your hands, and they were terrible. I would not buy these again. Somebody on my squad had Sea to Summit Wilderness wipes, and he was really happy with those, but these were a big disappointment. Support gear. Cleaning kit. We never use anything in this, thankfully, but it was nice to have, and I probably wouldn't leave it behind. This stuff. One thing I will note, I had everything packed away in these smaller bags. That was really nice. The problem is they got holes in them and they ripped and they reinflate with air, so something a bit more durable would be nice for next time. Maybe Magpul DACA pouches, but those are pretty heavy. My partner had small Dyneema bags and had a ton of them. That looked really nice. Let's see. MRAD ruler. Didn't use it. I've heard they give you MRAD stages in the past that you would need something like this for, but it doesn't weigh anything, so I would still take it next time. Pens and pencils worked like pens and pencils work. Dope cards worked great. I had 1 dope card in here for myself, and I had 1 for my partner's rifle in case they made a switch. And then on the outside flap, so as they gave us a stage brief, I would write down the stage brief right here. Read to you second time, fill in whatever you missed, and then I would take it and fill in a card. So let's see if I can find the card that matches up to this one. It was this card. So I could take all of this and condense what information I needed to this one. And then I would just have this card in here, so nothing confusing. So this stage was, there were 4 known targets, and there was a sheet downrange. I had to find the sheet and figure out which order to shoot these in, 1, 2, 3, 4, while my partner ranges them all and reads me off ranges. And then together we both have to get a simultaneous hit on 2 different gongs that are side by side. 2 different plate carrier targets that are side by side. 2 different ovals that are side by side. So able to condense all of this down to just a couple of words in a picture. And I was able to do that for most stages pretty well. Some of them required a little bit more information, like this one. This was nice. Every time I would open up this to put cards in and out, I would see the pre-stage checklist. A couple of times we wouldn't zero our turrets after a stage or reset magnification, so when we go to do the next stage, I would see this and remember, oh, we need to zero turrets and get everything reset for the next stage. So this all worked out really well. I was happy with all of this. Garmin worked out great. Small problem with it was the second day, due to all the snow and the ice, they changed us from a 16-minute mile to an 18-minute mile. So this wasn't on, and it messed me up a few times thinking we had no time left when we had plenty of time left. It was sometimes upsetting to look down and see we had 4 miles left and we're only a half mile in. Oh no. Phone, just nice for music. I never use it for the ballistic app. It was just no time for that. Ammo and mags. Oh, this is part of shooting gear. The bag. This was pretty essential. There was a lot of times where you'd shoot off of a car door or the back of an ambulance or a helicopter, and you put that down and you can put your rifle right on top of it. Binoculars. These were pretty essential. My partner used these to range while I shot, and I used them to range while he shot. We used them to find a couple of targets that we couldn't find with our scope because it was just, the field of view was too small in a scope, and you got a huge field of view with these. Tripod. This was, I think, essential. I think you could get away without it, but I wouldn't try to. We used this, we hooked in the binoculars and ranged an entire stage off of this. My partner did a great job at ranging. The RO at the end of it told us that we were within 5 to 10 yards of each target with his ranges. I think we shot off of this on one stage altogether. One of the other stages, I just set my backpack upright and shot off my backpack and got plenty of hits with that. You can get away without it easily. I think 2 bipods would have been overkill. So, ammo and mags. Kept everything. As we shot more and more, this bag opened up and I was able to put all the pistol ammo and just keep all the ammo in one bag. Came back with 31 rounds of pistol ammo, so I brought significantly too much pistol ammo. I only ever used a single magazine. I don't think I ever loaded the second one. I came back with 30 rounds of 6.5 Creedmoor, so I brought way too much. I knew I brought too much. Knowing what I know now, I would bring a lot less next time. I used both magazines on a couple of stages where they give you a 21 round count. Never actually shot 21 rounds. The only stage where both magazines came in handy was the unlimited round count stage with the marathon targets. I think I shot 38 rounds on that stage because it was our second stage and I didn't even fire a single round the first stage, so I had ammo to spare. The way that the stages worked is you had 3 rounds per target, so after you fire your 3 rounds per target, that target's done and you can't re-engage it. So there's no question about round count. When they give you a round count, it's pretty spot on just because of the way it's set up. This was nice loading in the cold with a loader. What else did I bring? Headlamp. You don't need this for rucking, but at camp at night, this is really nice. I just brought a pair of Magpul sunglasses. I used these to shoot pistol and then took them off when we were shooting rifle and then just wore them during the ruck because the sun's bright off the snow. Surefire Ear Pro worked great. No complaints. Let's see. Pistol worked fine. I didn't have the light on it. I put the light back on when I got home. No complaints with the pistol. Everything worked fine. It's a Glock, mostly. Rifle, sadly, I had to give back the ATACR, and I have a Vortex on here now, but that may be getting changed out with a NX8 here soon. So, everything worked out great. The top dot was great. A couple of times my partner would call it a target and I'd come out of my scope, find it, use the top dot to put my 18x scope on. Suppressor, I think the suppressor was pretty essential. There were multiple times where they put you in a really tight spot with your partner. We had one simulated sniper hide and people were blowing the side of that hideout with their brakes. Then we moved to a deer blind and someone actually broke the deer blind with their brake on my squad. They broke one of the support members. We had to shoot out of a small confined helicopter. That would have been pretty brutal. And then we had to shoot out of an ambulance, and the ambulance ROs actually told us that if you have a brake, you have to put your muzzle through the end because they don't want to be getting beat up by your brake. Bipod, this worked out great. I did not see this match a need for like a sky pod or something like that. Having differential legs, I had one stage where I had my bipod deployed like this to be able to get even one leg all the way deployed and one leg all the way shut, but this didn't hold me back at all. I think we actually shot off bipods for maybe 4 of the 11 stages. So it was more useful for anything than just to set it up at the staging area and let your rifle sit there up off the ground. The sling, I think I used it only on day 3 when we were doing offhand shooting. You could wrap your sling around your arm and shoot like that. The nicest thing about the sling is on my shooting bag, you could kind of see the shooting area. So I'd know, okay, I know I'm going to have my shooting bag in the front or my shooting bag in the rear. I could just take it, hook it off right here. So I only had to grab my rifle and my shooting bag was coming with it. I have something else like my backpack or the tripod in my other hand. So having this hooked together was really nice. A lot of people had the big Vortex or Wilcox laser rangefinders. Those probably give you a pretty good advantage. I don't think they're necessary for a match like this. We did it without one. Let's see. Semi-auto versus bolt. Most of the guys there were shooting bolt action rifles. I don't have experience with a bolt action rifle outside of hunting, so I'd rather shoot a semi-auto. I didn't feel at a disadvantage with this. It shoots better than I can shoot. So all the misses were my fault. And it also was nice not having to have to work a bolt in some of the smaller areas they put you in. You could just quick follow-up shots one after the other on the marathon targets. And a lot of the guys that were running bolt action rifles were running 7-round magazines. So they had to reload quite a few times. I saw a lot of the Magpul, actually, I saw a lot of people with these Magpul bolt action magazines having issues with the magazines freezing up on them and not loading rounds correctly. And actually the only rifle I did see go down all weekend was a very expensive bolt action rifle. Its bolt froze and the guy couldn't work the bolt, so it was just frozen solid. So that's it. I'll roll in a couple of photos over the video, show you guys what it was like. And that's it. If you have any questions about the match, about any of the gear in this video or the other video, just leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you.